exposed them in the past. And we will continue to expose them each time they spread canards to push their agenda and deride the nation. Tonight, I will show you 3 specific instances where motivated members of the cabal in Lutyens have peddled fake news in the guise of opinion pieces. Shameful, shameful that they choose to do this, what they always do, even today, when the country is fighting coronavirus on such a massive war footing. Let's debate.
On the 3rd of May, India will complete 40 days in lockdown. A bold decision which comes at a huge economic cost, and the government is aware of it.
अगर सिर्फ आर्थिक दृष्टि से देखें तो ये महंगा जरूर लगता है, बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ी है, लेकिन भारतवासियों की जिंदगी के आगे इसकी कोई तुलना नहीं हो सकती.
But while the world is lauding India's efforts, the anti-India lobby is back to spread its propaganda. A Lutyens media, while trying to make a case for the Tablighi Jamaat, calls the lockdown draconian and links the government's efforts to electoral politics in an article in a UAE-based web portal. Meanwhile, the ones who've been booked for spreading fake news are trying to create a wave of sympathy by galvanizing support from their ilk. State governments and the central government has come together to fight the corona pandemic. But even now, naysayers are using this national crisis to abuse the country and tarnish its image. Let's debate.
And viewers, usually I don't name any of these, but Rami, usually I don't, and you know that, Rahul, and you know that Syed Asad Abbas. But today I will name both the publications and, if I feel, the writers, because I think there is one thing intrinsic in journalism, which is accountability and responsibility. If you shoot and scoot, it's not good. Secondly, I think, and I'll begin. I think the reason why we need to name and shame some of these is because while they or where they write may be insignificant, political parties and retweet their pieces depending upon who they want to benefit, and then these pieces acquire a certain degree of virality, and in this time it is our responsibility to fight fake news. Example number 1, Rahul. And Rami, please come into the debate. Rami Desai is a writer and political analyst. Rahul Singh is an author and columnist. I almost always agree with Rami. I almost never agree with Rahul on anything. Rami and Rahul Singh. Sorry for mispronouncing that. Rami and Rahul, as I welcome you to the debate.
Yes.
Gulf News has published a piece. Now, I don't know Gulf News, I don't know this writer, apparently somebody called Chaturvedi. She writes, and the piece is titled, COVID-19, and now it is Corona Jihad in Narendra Modi's hate-filled New India. And she writes, this person, the Narendra Modi government's calculation seems to be to turn the pandemic panic into electoral gold. In other words, she's saying, Rahul, and you have to truly believe these people are for real. She says that Narendra Modi is trying to calculate, sitting at his residence, how many more votes he is going to get in 2024 because of the coronavirus pandemic. I'm surprised and horrified, Rami, that somebody published this piece of undiluted trash. What do you think?
Arnab, absolutely. I mean, I don't know who this Swati Chaturvedi is. I don't know who reads the Gulf News, but let me say something. That Article 15 of, the Terrorist Act actually says that, and it clearly suggests that whosoever does any act that causes a death or somehow causes a dysfunction in the unity of this country will be termed as one. So I don't know why she doesn't take this into consideration, that there's nothing wrong in calling this Corona Jihad, because clearly this was purposeful. Number two, Arnab, I'd like to say that this article reeks of fear. It reeks of fear that all the effort that this cabal has made, which is starting with CAA, then goes on to Shaheen Bagh, all these moments of pride that this cabal had, is now all going to dissipate because the performance of this government during the coronavirus fight has been impeccable. And I don't think that these people are ready for it. They are on the last legs of their career survival, and they fear the fact that she keeps mentioning electoral gold. I have a feeling that they fear that, the next election is clearly going to be in favor of this government again. Having said that, the World Bank also said on Sunday that the projections for India look great, that we are probably, while the world is in recession, we are probably going to have an economy that is going to continue.
Rami, let's get Rahul to respond to what you've said there. Rami, let's get Rahul to respond to what you said there. And viewers, I have a bit of breaking news at this point. I began the 9 p.m. today by exposing how one individual, a person called Vinay Dubey, was actually actively, who's an anti-CAA, anti-NRC protester, by the way, Gaurav. Very interesting, Ashok. He was the person who was who was mobilizing people, to come in Bandra he said, come there every day till the 18th, and then let's all break the rules and let's go home. Now, that person has been detained. I personally am of the view that Sanjay Jha of the Vadra Congress should be arrested tonight, because he was the person, and at the earliest, he was the person who was saying there is panic in Bandra. These people are working against national interest at this time. I don't care which superannuated party he works for, but these people are a danger to national interest. I continue on this piece written in the Gulf News. May I have your observations? Rahul, this individual, Chaturvedi, also writes that the BJP has not lost sight of the end goal, demonizing Muslims because of this lockdown, which is draconian. Now, Rahul, the Imam of the Lucknow Eidgah, Khalid Rashid Firangi Mahali, has demanded an independent inquiry into the Tablighi Jamaat incident. How is this about demonizing Muslims? I mean, which godforsaken publication will publish something like this? The Jamaat-e-Ulema Hind has condemned it. The Dargah Ala Hazrat Trust has sought a ban. The leaders of the Ajmer Sharif Dargah have condemned it. How is it anti-Muslim? The Tablighi Jamaat's own veteran members like Muhammad Alam condemned the incident and said that Muhammad Saad was aware of everything. But his stubborn attitude pushed innocent Tablighis to the jaws of a pandemic. Who is this illiterate who has written in a greater illiterate publication and gone and said, Rahul, that this is about Modi wanting to demonize Muslims?
Arnab, can I come in now?
Yes.
I know Gulf News. I worked in Dubai for almost a year.
My commiserations for having worked there.
The biggest English language paper. Yeah, okay. Well, it's one of the biggest English language newspapers in the Gulf. It's a fairly responsible paper. I don't know this lady who has written that article, but she's got her point of view. And she's
Point
got a
of
certain
view.
Point of view. You know,
Point of
all
view.
this thing about fake news. Yeah, all the Arnab, Goswami, all these things that you keep on saying about fake news, you sound more and more like Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, by an extension,
Yeah.
by an extension, let me tell you that you sound like one of his propaganda managers, which is the only thing worse. But let's get serious on this. This article has been written in the Gulf News, which you say is a respected paper, wherever it is. The point is, you have actually written a piece and published a piece that Narendra Modi is calculating how to get votes for 2024 today, and he's working hard to demonize Muslims in India. There's got to be a limit. This is not called opinion. It's called trash fiction. It's not opinion. This is not opinion, sir. Gaurav is responding. Gaurav.
Absolutely, Arnab.
Let Gaurav respond. Gaurav.
It is opinion. It is opinion.
Arnab,
Opinion.
Arnab, I congratulate you for picking up this story. And the reason is very simple. In our democracy, media is considered the fourth pillar of our democracy.
Badri will respond.
And a journalist is expected to report responsibly. And this has been happening for far too long. It is nothing but yellow journalism. We have seen even in the past that without even ascertaining the facts, a cooked up story, because it suits their political masters, is published just to defame a ruling dispensation, to create fear. And in times of COVID, when our government is doing so well, when every citizen is standing with the government, we are all united. These people are there only to spread fear so that they can divide our country. Now, the article that you are referring to, somebody is saying that, this is about the Muslims.
You know nothing
we love
about
our
journalism.
Muslim brothers.
You know nothing about journalism.
Tablighi Jamaat, an organization
it's not
that
reportage.
acted irresponsibly.
It is not reportage. It is opinion.
And the land will deal with them just as it
I'm
will
sorry,
deal with
you know nothing about journalism.
Are you saying, Rahul, one minute. Let's get Professor Badri Narayan in. One second. Now this is very interesting. 1 minute, Ashok, a minute, please. Let's debate this one after the other. The argument given every time Professor Tiwari is a political commentator from Allahabad is that, listen, this is not classical reporting, this is opinion. Now, am I to assume, Professor Tiwari, that what we call opinion, I have also worked in a newspaper, sir, and you'd be happy to know I began my career in a newspaper working for the opinion pages of a newspaper, right? It may not have remained a newspaper today, but it was a newspaper when I worked there. And I used to work in the opinion and edit pages. Now the question is this. I will not name them, please. There are some things I don't go beyond. The question is this. Opinion has to be based upon reason. The New York Times has also delightfully published a piece. Let me tell you about this piece. India scrambles to curb the virus after a very late start. Late start? We were the first to start. You've not even started. 100,000 people have died and you've not even started. I mean, Badri Narayan Tripathi, 10,000 people have died in New York. We have 10,000 cases. And the New York Times is saying we had a late start. Is this opinion, Professor Tiwari?
Arnab, you are very right. Opinion should be based on the reason, and we know that you are an eminent journalist, you started from the opinion, and opinion should be very based on the logic and the rigorous discussions. It should not be based on the fake news or this kind of a very calculated kind of stereotypical the image making politics. News does politics, but not this kind of politics.
That's my point.
And this is always goes against the human society. This always create problem. And most of this kind of opinion goes circulate with the mobility, but they don't carry authenticity, they don't have authenticity. And they create lot of tension in the society, conflict in the society.
Let me give you another example, Professor Tiwari. Professor Tiwari, thank you for your view on this. Thank you for your view on this. I'd give one more example. I have limited time. I wanted to cover all ground. Gaurav, may I give you one more example?
Journalist from The Wire, alleging
The Wire,
either Wire or Scroll or anyone,
and if I anyone, lodged against him, And he
If
said this
opinion is
political
biased,
vendetta.
that's not opinion. Opinion should be based on the rigorous discussions
No,
and
no, no.
rigorous logic
No, no,
and argument based on the fact.
No, no, suppose you
No,
lie.
Empirical
He
fact.
should also discuss fake news done by the wire.
I
You know,
want
the
to-
editor was caught. He was lying about.
Sure.
you
Let
know,
me
one of the
pick
news that he
up
published.
this.
And
No,
wire was
fake should
registered.
not
Now
be
he's saying
permitted.
Okay, let's get
either by
Syed on this.
lawyer or
We
by
go to the
a-
wire one
any-
second. Before I go to the
any
wire,
news
I want to get
channel,
Syed
please,
and Rami in back to the debate. And let's look at this. By the way, joke of the day.
Yeah.
New York Times says there are scant supplies in India to fight coronavirus. New York Times, you should be grateful to us. We just gave you so much hydroxychloroquine. These were our supplies. You say we don't have supplies, you got to be out of your mind. I want to go to Syed. The Wire. I don't know what they'll do next.
Yes.
They've said the whole world is battling the coronavirus, but India is fighting Muslims. The whole world is fighting coronavirus, but India is fighting Muslims in the time of coronavirus. Today, there are 3,600 plus cases because of the Tablighi Jamaat markaz. If we quarantine and find out these people and catch them, we are actually protecting everyone, including 18-20 crore Muslims in India. I mean, this is journalism that Wire published, Syed? This is journalism?
Absolutely, Arnab.
This is journalism?
All right, Arnab, if I could
I
answer
mean,
you.
no, please, okay.
Okay. May I?
Yeah.
All right. Arnab, I think, as a matter of fact, we had this debate, the Sunday debate with
give an
Arnab
example.
Goswami. We discussed about trolls, Twitter, fake news, all of that. In the fake news, I did mention to you, it is world-known proof worldwide. The masters of the fake news are the BJP IT cell. And the IT cell head is the Yamraj. What
I
do
gave
they
you an
do?
example
Every
from
day
the
they
Wire.
manufacture
Rami.
fake news. They have a fake
Arnab,
news
I have no
factory
idea
and
what
they've
he's
been called
talking
out.
about.
They've been called out.
I have
Let
no
me
idea
I
what
have
he's
given you an
talking about
example
because when
out here,
Tablighi
right
Jamaat
Ma'am, I heard you.
happened,
Let me finish.
No.
it was not the
So,
BJP
Amit
that
Shah
was
ji- Amit
peddling
Shah ji
fake
comes and
news.
says,
It was
BJP
every
has the
so-called...
Rami.
power to go
Rami, yes,
make
Rami.
any news viral. Let me tell you, WhatsApp with over 32
Arnab, I'm going to come in. I don't know what this gentleman is talking about. I don't know what newspapers he's been reading because when Tablighi Jamaat happened, it was everybody like him that was defending Tablighi Jamaat, irrespective of the thousands of lives they had put to risk. Having said that, ever since, this is not a Tablighi Jamaat, this is not a coronavirus argument. Ever since the CA started, there has been fake news peddling at a new level. Look at what the Wire did. Siddharth
The BJP
Rami.
is the real coronavirus,
defaming the UP
in the
chief
bud.
minister.
I think people who defend the IT cell must be jailed
It's not a discussion
for
on the
their
IT
worst
cell.
kind of
This is-
news.
I
This
just-
is a news definition.
Oh, thank you, Syed. You moved away from the debate. I'd like to also get back to Rahul because I got a couple of minutes more. Rahul,
Yeah.
you know, it's also a matter of great
Arnab,
significance.
yeah,
You see,
Arnab,
look
there
at
are
us here in
plenty of-
India today. We know the mess America is in, okay? But am I spending every night and every day talking about what a mess America is in? No. I'm looking at what we can do in our own country and how we can make things better, we can do better tracing, catch the cluster groups, work on the hotspots and mobilize national interest.
Yeah.
I'm curious why the boring Broadcasting Corporation, instead of publishing articles talking about how we have nothing to eat in India, could possibly talk about why the UK has a death toll over 12,000. They are saying we have nothing to eat in India. The boring Broadcasting Corporation. We're doing fine. We could send them some food as well if they want. And some money. Because we know how impoverished the United Kingdom is. But I'm concerned. Why would New York Times not write about New York? Why would the boring Broadcasting Corporation not write about the UK? Why are they obsessed about us?
Imperialism. This is a colonialism, print colonialism, and they want to intervene. They want to see the face of other houses of other.
Rahul.
They don't see themselves. That's their problem.
Rahul, for example, as a
Arnab,
further question,
I've been
as a
seeing-
further question, I was told,
I've been
Rahul, 1
seeing
minute. Rahul,
all the news
Rahul,
channels.
last one point I hand over to you.
Yeah.
The Al Jazeera has hired a Bollywood reporter to write a piece about how terrible the Indian media is at the time of coronavirus. Why doesn't Al Jazeera write about what's happening in Qatar, where there are terrible conditions for migrant workers in Qatar? Why would they not write about that? Just a point of interest. Why? Why wouldn't Gulf News write about the UAE?
No, Arnab.
Why would why would Gulf News, and it's a challenge to you, Gulf News. Gulf News,
Arnab,
if you have the guts, write about, I'll give you a subject. Editors of Gulf News, if you have the courage, which you don't, write about how thousands of undocumented Ethiopian workers have been abruptly deported from the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Why would they not write about that? Rahul, why wouldn't they?
I have no brief. I have no brief for Gulf News or.
But you just said they were a marvelous publication.
All I know is that in those countries where there's a free press, like in England and in the USA, the New York Times and the BBC.
Are you saying the Boring Broadcasting Corporation is free? It's government owned.
I want to ask Mr.
Come on, Rami. Rami can tell you a little bit about the Boring Broadcasting Corporation.
They look at themselves. They look at themselves. They look at themselves.
To report, but to report and not create fake news, sir.
Well, Rami, last word. Rami, last word. Last word to Rami.
What is this fake news? What is this?
What I've just described is fake news.
Arnab, I don't understand. I think these people from the West, our anglicized population, has a colonial hangover. And I think they're more obsessed with India's progress than their own failures. There's a German word called Schadenfreude, which technically means that you are more excited with other people's unhappiness than your own unhappiness. And that's what
Schadenfreude, great word. Great word, viewers. That's what's happening. That's what's happening in the Boring Broadcasting Corporation and Al Jazeera. Schadenfreude. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers across India, this is where we stand today. It's tough, and the Prime Minister has used a word, Agni Pariksha. And he's also talked of Kathor Kadam. We expect to know by tomorrow what those tough steps, ye Kathor Kadam kya honge. But let's start walking step by step with those who are fighting. Let's not spread fake news, let's not lie, and let's not say there is panic in a country where there isn't. Ladies and gentlemen, privilege bringing the news to you in these times. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow at 9. Good night and goodbye.